For who knows was Fortnite 2 not owned by China.
Fortnite no longer cosmetic; it's pay to win.
And then it's just the CEO default dancing on the on Blizzard.
Just fucking flossing on stacks of cash.
Oh my god, did you hear the fucking news about Stadia?
No, I have not.
For one, Red Dead Redemption 2 is gonna be on Stadia. And then also, they're gonna say Stadia will have negative latency.
So that was a fucking lie.
Meaning it's gonna be super responsive.
Apparently, even though people are still like, I don't really trust it because it's like, these type of services have never worked in the past. The whole game streaming type thing.
Yeah, I believe that's complete bullshit, and I don't buy it for a single minute. Yeah, I want it to die. I don't know why it exists. Why is it even a thing?
Because Google's trying to get onto the gaming market, and so is the Apple. Apple's doing the Apple Arcade thing.
Man, they're really bummy as hell. They're basic.
Here's the thing. It's like, you know the Shantae games, right?
Yes.
Their newest release will be on the Apple whatever, the Apple Games thing, and it's like, who's gonna play like a high? I don't know how it works, but I assume it's only on your phone. It's like, who's going to play like a next gen console game on their fucking phone?
No, the better question is, how the fuck are they gonna play it on their phone?
Exactly. It has simple controls, to be honest, but it's like, like, how are you gonna run something like that on your fucking phone?
Yeah, because you cannot get a general phone. Like, even though phones are advancing nowadays, even with with the introduction of the iPhone 11, with the new Samsung phone on its way, with Google Pixel and everything starting to get better progress with their phones, it doesn't really mean that they can run shit like that. I mean, as it stands, there's barely the iPhone can barely run like full resolution Fortnite on crossplay without it being the mobile game. That's already difficult as is. Now imagine trying to get full resolution on a video game on your phone. That's not gonna work. You know why? Because the phones that run that sort of shit, like console kind of graphics, or even like really good resolution PCs, those phones are super expensive, and not a lot of people have the time nor the money to do it. I wanted to talk about the Little Witch Academia.
Okay, so you watched both movies, right?
Yeah, Little Witch Academia is quite a fucking funny movie, not gonna lie.
And the sequel was Enchanted Parade.
Oh my god, I swear that movie was basically Akko Does an Oopsie.
Akko Does an Oopsie, yeah. But it's so like watching the first movie and then watching the second one back to back. The second one is like, it's like so like vibrant with its animations.
Yeah, Studio Trigger really did itself well, and I love the facial expressions they make. It honestly holds well and holds a very unique animation. Akko is honestly the most lovable dumbass in the entire series.
She doesn't really think it through, but she tries her best.
Yeah, and the funny thing about it is that there are so many things that you can compare Little Witch Academia to. Like, the three girls that usually pick on Akko and her friends?
Yeah.
Yeah, I like to compare them to the fucking mean girls of Little Witch Academia, not to mention the three girls from... Was it 3 or 4 girls? I don't remember, but in fucking Lilo and Stitch.
Oh, yeah, those girls, yeah. But then again, Trigger does take a lot of reference from Western stuff. I believe in they reference like Western stuff all the fucking time. I believe in the Enchanted Parade, there's a cameo of Dipper and Mabel from Gravity Falls, as well as a cameo from they have 2 characters based on Rebecca Sugar, the creator of Steven Universe, and the other one based on Ian Courtley, the creator of the OKKO show. You see them together in the movie. In
the first one, I like this whole notion that she grew up, and when she first knew about Silver, what was her name? Something Chariot.
Shiny Chariot, I think.
I just love the whole aspect of how she idolized this figures to the point where she wanted to be as well known as this wizard, but it's kind of crazy how she wound up being the exact opposite, and a lot of people actually resented her because she seemed like a shameful figure. It's like, what is it? This is like witches are supposed to be like feared or whatever. They shouldn't be using it for entertainment purposes. Yeah, in a way, it kind of feels like it's kind of like magic is a religion versus an entertainment. It's kind of like the whole thing with how Bruce Lee was marketing martial arts, and that one monk got really angry about it and like lectured Bruce Lee that this is martial arts is a way of life, not something you can just market whenever you feel like it.
Originally, it was just meant for like, simple 30-minute story. This was pretty good for what it is.
Actually, I would say it was amazing despite that, because remember, it has its own TV series and it's kind of a long one. It's got like 3 seasons, doesn't it?
2 seasons. It's like 20 something episodes or whatever.
Yeah, for what it was, like when I never really knew what it was about, but in those 25 minutes, the build up, I really believe that the way they built that story up in the first movie was actually so good that I actually knew who the characters were by then.
That, and also just like, it's simple morals, believe in yourself, but they do it in like an awesome way. It's like using the power of heart, you can shoot a giant arrow at a dragon.
If you believe in yourself hard enough, you will shoot an arrow at those fucking haters.
Remember, kids, when in doubt, believe in yourself, and then a magical weapon will appear in your hands.
You know what was really funny about that whole movie? I think the craziest thing was, remember that dragon that we saw like towards the end of the movie?
Yeah.
I loved how that dragon was like the most menacing thing throughout the whole thing. And there were 2 things I found really funny. One, the expressions, the expressions and the level of fear they felt kind of felt like Akko was basically like, huh, look at that thing. Akko had balls in that movie.
Diana done fucked up.
Dude, Diana fucked up. What was the first thing Akko did? Look, teacher, I found this shit. It must be worth a bunch of points.
Akko, please, the entire school is being destroyed.
But this staff, though. And then the second thing that really made me laugh was like when she shot the big gay arrow. I love the fact that the dragon knew it was fucked. It looked over at the screen and said, "Why have you forsaken me, author?" It was practically Sailor Moon in a nutshell.
Isn't that just like all magical girl shows, just Sailor Moon?
Wait, actually, you can't generalize all magical schoolgirl shows because there's a magical schoolboy show.
Alright, and then you also have Madoka, which is magical schoolgirl on depression.
The second movie was honestly one of the funniest things I've ever seen. It was so dumb how like it progressed itself. You had like think of it this way. So they start off with like a mushroom. They're basically in class just experimenting. They turn into a big ass mushroom together, and then they have to do an event as a result of it, and it's like a punishment. And then as they're planning the whole thing, Akko is just basically going off about making the Happy Time Project or whatever the fuck. All of a sudden, they have these 3 criminals in the entire movie, and all of a sudden they became buddy without any sort of introduction. I think the funniest thing about that whole interaction was that one chick with the food. Like, she was just constantly eating chips. It's like they explained why she was there. She just had like a really bad eating habit, and they had to take her and arrest her. Like, imagine that, getting arrested for eating a shit ton of food.
And then you had the technology girl who was running like a black market on technology stuff. She had she had a magic gun. Who would win, thousands of years of witch magic or one tomatoey boy?
Dude, those kids were assholes. Dude, they were just having a good time, and then you just want to be an asshole and just start throwing shit at like witches? Why? They weren't bugging you. In this movie, like, the character I personally felt was like the most enjoyable to watch, or the 2 most enjoyable to watch characters. It had to be Lotte or fuck, I don't know how to pronounce it. I'm just gonna call her like latte, whatever. I'm just gonna call her Starbucks coffee, whatever. Lot and Susie. Susie was honestly the funniest character in the whole movie. Susie is one of like the most well-known characters in Little Witch Academia. I just love, actually, now that goes back to like the first movie. Notice how Susie's life was in danger. She threw like poison at the dragon, and then it just blew fire at her. You just see a little cloud that protected her, and she's all burned up like charcoal. But then in the second movie, she becomes like the voice of reason to some extent, which I thought was kind of weird, but at the very same time, I like that touch from Susie.
I mean, she practically had to be, with one of her friends being depressed and the other one being like an overburdening joy bag.
I think the funny thing that really stood out throughout the entire movie was the fact that Diane, was secretly always a fan of Silver Chariot. Not Silver Chariot. Fucking Shining Chariot. I'm thinking of JoJo. She was a big fan of Shining Chariot, but she just doesn't admit it.